11 family members, one house, no survivors. Every single one of them, gone. Not scattered, not missing, but found. Together. Lifeless. In the same home they shared. Same blood. Same fate. One question remains. What really happened in that house? They were found hanging. 10 members of the Bhatia family, suspended from an iron mesh in the ceiling of their home in Burari, North Delhi. Their bodies were arranged in a circle with faces toward the center. Each was blindfolded using pieces of cloth. Their mouths were taped shut, and cotton had been stuffed into their ears. Their hands were tied behind their backs. In some cases, legs were bound as well. They were hanging from scarves and wires, which had been carefully secured. Wooden stools were found beneath them, toppled. There were no signs of forced entry, no struggle, and no injuries that pointed to foul play. The 11th family member, the 77-year-old grandmother, was found strangled in another room, lying on a bed. The positioning, the bindings, and the lack of disturbance in the home suggested not violence, but preparation. The scene was calm. Each element pointed to a ritualistic act carried out with care and coordination. Police later discovered handwritten instructions in multiple diaries, detailing how such a ritual should be performed, and every step matched what they found at the scene. The 11 diaries investigators found were maintained over more than a decade, hidden inside the house. Each was filled with chilling, methodical instructions that seemed to come from beyond the grave, allegedly dictated by the spirit of Lalit Bhatia's deceased father. The diaries described how to perform a ritual to attain salvation, specifying everything. It had to be done on a Thursday or Sunday. Dim lighting should be used. 9 family members were to hang in a banyan tree-like formation. The grandmother, too frail to hang, was to lie on the bed, bound and strangled. The entries detailed the exact materials needed: scarves to blindfold, wires to hang, cotton to block the ears, and tape to silence the mouth. Even the emotional state was dictated. There was no fear, no doubt. One of the last chilling entries, written just before the deaths, read, "Keep water in a cup. When its color changes, I will appear and save you." The instructions were followed precisely. When police arrived, they found 10 bodies hanging in a single room, blindfolded, mouths taped, hands tied behind their backs. The 11th, the elderly matriarch, lay lifeless in another room. Nothing was stolen. Nothing was out of place. Every step had been carried out with disturbing discipline, exactly as the diaries had foretold. Some say it was shared psychosis, a rare psychological phenomenon known as folie à plusieurs, where delusions are transmitted from one person to an entire group. In the Burari case, investigators and psychologists believe that Lalit Bhatia, the younger son who had previously suffered head trauma and signs of dissociative disorder, became the origin. He believed his deceased father was guiding him, speaking through him, instructing him. Over time, the rest of the family followed. Out of faith, out of trust. They were well adjusted, running a family business, celebrating birthdays just days before their deaths. Yet inside that home, reality slowly gave way to delusion filled with calm, ritualistic obedience. One man's hallucination became a shared truth. 11 lives swallowed by belief. Others believe it was something far more calculated. A cult-like belief system, quietly built and led by one man from within the family itself. Lalit Bhatia wasn't just a participant. He became the spiritual anchor, the conduit for a voice only he could hear, the voice of his long-dead father. Over the years, he transformed from a reserved shopkeeper into a self-proclaimed medium, writing pages upon pages of so-called divine instructions in trance-like states. His family didn't just listen. They believed. They surrendered. Not out of fear, but reverence. What unfolded inside that home wasn't spontaneous madness, but a slow, chilling indoctrination where ritual replaced reason and devotion replaced doubt. Lalit didn't need to use force. He had something stronger, belief. And in the end, it bound them all. Still, no clear answers, no definitive motive, no confession, no surviving witness. 11 lives gone in a single night, and the only clues left behind were handwritten diaries, eerie patterns of behavior, and a silence that still grips the house like a shroud. The police closed the case, labeling it a mass psychogenic event, a shared delusion spiraling into tragedy. But for many, the pieces never quite fit. Why were the deaths so precise? Why did no one resist? How could an entire family spanning 3 generations take part in their own end so willingly? Was it blind faith, untreated mental illness, or something far more disturbing? Even today, no one knows what truly happened inside that house. The official reports offer theories of shared psychosis, ritual misbelief, psychological breakdown, but none bring closure. The neighbors still speak in hushed tones. The doors remain sealed, the windows covered, as if the house itself is holding its breath. Every detail was documented, every body accounted for, and yet, the why remains elusive. 11 lives, 1 night, countless questions, and a silence so deep it still echoes through Burari. Let me know what you think in the comments. Was it shared psychosis, a misguided ritual, or something even more disturbing? I want to hear your theories. And if you're drawn to real crime mysteries that leave you questioning everything, make sure to hit that subscribe button. There's plenty more where this came from. Because sometimes, the most chilling stories aren't imagined. They're real. The truth is, and always will be, stranger than fiction. If you found this case as unsettling and fascinating as we did, make sure to like the video, subscribe to Case, Cause, and Criminology, and turn on the notification bell. You won't want to miss what's coming next.